Living in a forested area offers many qualities. A feeling of independence, beauty, room to move, and a place to relax. Developers build on this urban country trend, creating unique, rustic-looking homes surrounded by trees and shrubbery, exactly what many home buyers are looking for today. These forested or wildland areas attract not only residents, but many visitors as well. Recreationalists who are spending more time than ever enjoying a variety of popular outdoor activities. Tourism. It's great business for local communities and British Columbia as a whole, ranked closely alongside the province's largest economic base, the forest industry. These people all share a common resource, the forest. And with the forest, fire. Imagine lost homes and property, the destruction of everything you love the most and can never replace, the trauma of evacuation, the destruction of beauty, a tourist trade gone up in smoke, personal injury, and even death. It's going to happen to someone else, right? Well, it happens.
Well, I think before the fire we thought that it was something that was going to happen somewhere else, but not to us.
You could feel the heat from the fire even though it was nearly a mile away. You could, the smoke was thick enough to make it quite orangey yellow, the light, and the water bombers were actually circling over the house, so the house was actually vibrating from the noise of the water bombers.
I was tempted to run madly through the house, picking things up without thinking about it. So there had to be a time of slow down, stop.
Well, there was a fireball just raced right up the canyon. It was just flying, just unbelievable. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen, and I was in World War II.
Wildfire. It's one of the largest catastrophic events in British Columbia, with the highest likelihood of occurrence, causing widespread devastation to the area known as the Wildland Urban Interface Zone, areas where people live in a forested community. Why is it happening? Approximately 30% of all wildfires are caused by lightning, the rest by people. The increase in small pockets of human dwellings bordering the forest, a high-risk fire area, has created a vast expansion of the interface zone. And with this expansion comes increased fire hazards. Many of the interface homes are constructed without sufficient knowledge of fire restrictions and guidelines. The result can be a fire hazardous dream home, built with an exterior of flammable materials, closely surrounded by trees, shrubbery, and other wildfire fuels. Recreationalists compound the threat with campfires, barbecues, cigarettes, and very often inadequate fire prevention awareness. Slash resulting from land clearing adds fuel to the problem. There are several close calls throughout the province every year. The southern one-third of BC has major wildfire potential. The Okanagan, with its available cleared land used up and new developments encroaching into forested areas, is looking more and more like the fire-hazardous outskirts of Southern California. Whistler Mountain Community, a complete interface zone development and popular recreation location, is tinder dry during summer months. The northern two-thirds of BC also becomes very hazardous during a major dry spell. Wildfire can strike anywhere in the province. The Forest Service's formula to successful wildfire fighting is to find it fast, hit it hard, and go where the need is greatest. This effort is complicated in the interface zone by crowd control, property, water supply, and pollution considerations, and the need to involve other agencies with different expertise and mandates. Fire departments are often the first official defense against interface zone wildfires. Yet, they are trained to fight structural fires. They have limited wildfire fighting experience and different equipment and attack plans. Many interface zone residents have little firefighting experience and a mistaken image of the Forest Service quickly wrestling wildfires to the ground. It is, in fact, a slow and tedious process involving a great deal of manpower and equipment. Residents are now just beginning to see the reality of wildfire fighting in their backyard. The increase of interface fires and the inherent problems associated with fires licking at the heels of life and property spreads regular Forest Service firefighting resources to an absolute minimum. With so many fires occurring in the province at one time, the Forest Service must assign priority of one fire over another. No one is looking forward to the day when a decision will be made to establish a control line through the middle of a BC subdivision. One side may be saved, the other will burn. It's not far off, and it could be your property. The strategy for fighting interface zone wildfires is improving all the time. A large part of that improvement includes local residents participating in wildfire hazard prevention. You can do a great deal to reduce the risk of losing your home to wildfire and to cut your losses if evacuation is necessary. Reducing the risk of wildfire occurs within 3 different stages: community planning, lot purchase and construction, and protection of existing homes. Designing fire-safe communities begins with developers and community planning officials. Their knowledge of logical, attractive community layouts, combined with site-specific fire protection input from fire departments and local Forest Service staff, will create the basis for your fire-safe home. Contact these people for advice when you're making decisions about the location you want to call home. There are some basic fire-safe elements to the design and construction of all subdivisions. Roads should be built to Ministry of Transportation and Highway standards and provide firefighting equipment with access to lakes, rivers, and other sources of water. There should be more than one way in or one way out. The turning radius should be adequate for large vehicles, and the length of cul-de-sacs should be limited. Intersections should be marked with durable road signs and house or lot numbers positioned so they are clearly visible from the road. Fire hydrants should be spaced appropriately for density levels, and water systems designed to meet pressure requirements of a firefighting emergency. Bridges must accommodate heavy firefighting equipment. Picnic grounds and other public use areas should be designed to stop fire from escaping to developed areas or surrounding forests. This can be done by removing vegetation and by providing approved fire pits. In larger subdivision developments, reserve a site for a fire station early in the development. Consider the need for perimeter fuel breaks, such as a green belt area. Natural fuel breaks, such as barren rock, lakes, and swamps are also of prime importance. If you are planning to buy a lot, contact local officials first to determine the area's fire protection capabilities, its forest fire history, and the water and road system adequacy. Plan to build your home on the most level portion of the lot. Fire spreads more rapidly as the slope increases. Building fire protection into your home is central to reducing wildfire risk. When possible, roofs and exteriors of buildings should be of fire-resistant materials. While cedar shakes and shingles are very popular for their rustic look, they are also very flammable and should be avoided or treated with a fire retardant. Screen eave, attic, and floor openings to avoid accumulation of flammable material. Screen chimney or stovepipe openings as well to prevent sparks from starting a fire. Debris from site preparation is a prime fire hazard and should be disposed of as soon as possible. Contact the nearest BC Forest Service office for burning regulations. The strategy to protect your existing home includes reducing the surrounding wildfire fuels and having certain firefighting tools on hand. Do an exterior inspection of your home at least once a year, definitely before summer. Remove overhanging tree limbs, moss, and needles from the roof and gutters. Clean the chimney or stovepipes and check the screens over these outlets to ensure they are in good working order. Keep storage areas clean and tidy. Never allow rags or newspapers to accumulate, and store flammable liquids in unbreakable containers. A fuel-free area should be maintained around the home. A large green lawn is ideal. Do not grow trees or highly flammable plants immediately beside the house, especially on the downside or side most exposed to prevailing winds. Ground vegetation, stumps, piles of firewood stacked against the house, and wooden fences will also carry flames from the forest into your home. When a wildfire occurs, residents invariably must take initial firefighting action themselves to slow wildfire spread until assistance arrives. Firefighting on your property requires an adequately placed water supply. Pre-connect a garden hose with nozzle long enough to reach all structure exteriors. A sprinkler system that will immediately access all structural exteriors, including the roof, is ideal. If a pressurized water system is not available, a large barrel of water and a 10-liter pail will provide some protection. A ladder long enough to allow access to the roof should be stored in a convenient location. A round point shovel and mattock are very effective in preventing the spread of ground fire and should be kept handy. Maintain a personal and community fire consciousness. Support your local fire brigade and develop your fire control plans with family and neighbors. Along with fire control, develop an evacuation plan. Your plan should include the following. Design a standard evacuation route that all residents concur with. Establish an alert system alarm, such as a portable boat horn or whistle, to warn family members, especially children. Have an agreed-upon meeting point for family members to marshal from. Get invalids and children away immediately. Review your prized possessions inventory in advance and consider storage in safety deposit boxes. Have a prepared list of items to evacuate with you, considering the time element. Important personal papers, photo albums, and other irreplaceables. In determining the fire location, unless it's right at your porch, consider wind direction, smoke volume and fly ash, the glow in the sky, and the direction of fire spread. If you are on an independent well, start your sprinkler system on the roof or against the house before leaving. Know your power and gas shutoff procedures, should time allow this. Above all, do not panic. You'll likely have Provincial Emergency Program personnel and the RCMP to assist in the evacuation coordination. These precautionary steps are designed to buy you time and reduce your losses. So if you think wildfire won't happen to you, think again. A bolt of lightning, a discarded cigarette, campfire sparks, kids playing with matches. Are you ready? The BC Forest Service and other fire control agencies have information to help you. Read it, talk to your local officials, and get your wildfire safety precautions underway today. BC residents have a right to live, work, and play in the forest. However, if you do choose to live in this high-risk interface, the message is very clear. Beware and prepare.